try another way. The sundered one must be remade. We must take back our land. Armed with the wand of destiny, we'll make our final stand.
It's great.
A summer's day
Great job. Thanks,
in
OBS.
Scarborough.
Thanks a lot.
Came a wintry
Thanks a
night.
goddamn lot.
Foes from below, blood on the snow, bright crimson.
So I've been having this problem with OBS. I've been having this problem with OBS for the last couple of months, where for some God knows why reason, after 9 o'clock, between 9 and 9:15, it randomly disconnects. For no reason whatsoever, it disconnects. It has no effect on my internet. It does nothing to anything. It just disconnects OBS. And so, of course, it did that in the middle of while I was trying to watch this. So I don't know what the hell just happened with this game that I've been playing for 65 hours because of this. So thanks a lot, OBS. Get your shit together. It is so infuriating to me. And of course, I'm trying to stop the stream, start the stream, restart the stream. No, OBS is not trying to update. This is after the second update. I have done this multiple times. It has nothing to do with updates. Something is wrong with OBS trying to do it. And it does it once and only once, and that's all. And it doesn't do it during the day, and it does it at 9 o'clock. I have no idea why. But it is infuriating. It is absolutely infuriating. And what I did this time was I changed it to a retry delay of 5 seconds, and it did absolutely nothing. It would not reconnect. You're damn right it's a serious issue. It's a serious issue because it's fouling up my stream. Because every time I'm trying to stream and all of a sudden that happens and my viewer number drops to 0 because of the way Twitch handles stuff. Not to mention the fact that I missed everything that just happened. Infuriating.
Snow in summer, ice in my
So I don't know, I guess I need to try to restart, like do that whole fight. Just wrecked a 60-hour game stream because of the stupidity of doing this. I have the latest version, Snicer. I don't know what it is. 23.0.2. It's been doing this since 21. It's got nothing to do with the version. So now I get to fight this again. Because that's certainly what I want to do, is fight this again. I'm using OBS Studio. The same thing I've been using since it's been available. So now I get to do this all over again. Because stupid OBS doesn't know how to stay.
Someone there.
Absolutely drives me up a wall. I won that first try, and I didn't see it because stupid OBS.
in the hatch.
No drink will
Absolutely
save
infuriating.
you. Watch out. They're channeling. Here.
So, sorry guys, I'm really pissed off.
Did you make that over yourself? Pay for that. Yep.
And it was right in the middle of it, and I'm just like, there's nothing I can do. And I can't stop it. I can't press escape because that's the other thing. I wish it would, like, when you escape the window, it would just stop instead of just being like, nope, I must do my cutscene. No, I don't want to pick Robbie. I want to pick who I want to pick, and I want to watch it this time without the stupid disconnect happening. And I thought maybe with the updates and the fact that I reduced it to 0, this wasn't going to be an issue. See, last night, I started after that point. I started after 9 whatever the hell. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to start streaming every time after 9:20 or something, or before 6, so I can avoid this stupid whatever this is. I don't know if it's like an ISP maintenance thing that has only affected OBS or what. But it's absolutely driving me up a wall.
Here. Orders.
No, it's always yeah. I mean, it's just tiresome as hell. And I tried to reduce the stream delay to 0, like the stream reconnect to 0 seconds, and this time it just didn't reconnect. It just acted like it was just like attempting to reconnect the first time, and it didn't.
Go on then.
And I'm like, well, that's great.
That terrible noise.
Tell me what to do.
Stop singing. It's awful. At your command. Your wickedness cannot
On your
go
word.
unpunished. Say that. What have you done to orders?
Ready.
Aye. Command me.
Speak.
Sorry, everybody. It's just really, really frustrating. There is really nothing more frustrating as a streamer than to have your stream that you're building up to a certain level all of a sudden just collapse for no reason. It's just, it's
Ready.
but yeah, and like then you lose all the people because of the way Twitch does it, which is frustrating also because Twitch should not do it this way. But that's what they do.
I will tear you apart. Orders.
On your word.
Yeah.
What have you done
On
to
your
them?
word.
Eating my brain. Try.
Okay, thanks, Aridinel. Although I did a lot of searching for it, but thank you for please DM that to me. Thank you, Aridinel. I did a lot of searching in it, and I don't know.
Ready. On your word. Yeah. To me.
Orders. Tell me.
Ready? Here's to us.
I am enervated.
Oh, there's a workaround?
On your word.
Speak.
It's a nice one-shot death.
Yes. Pardon. Monisha.
Okay.
Yep. Pardon.
Okay.
On your word.
Command me.
Orders.
Alright.
I'm over here.
Alright, cool. I'll check that out.
Forgive me.
Okay. Yeah, being stunned is a problem.
On your word.
Alright, good.
Ready.
Let's see.
Command me. May I pass?
Okay, and that gives me opportunity back.
Monisha.
I think it's possible that it's the ISP doing something. I just don't know what, and it's really, really frustrating. Like, super intensely frustrating.
Aye?
I. Aye.
Here. Cheers.
Okay, let's see. No, I really want to do that.
Strength
Spell
rules.
song.
I.
On your word.
On your word. Here.
Got a lot of opportunity. Yeah, exactly. I'm glad you understand. I'm glad you understand my frustration, because it's just like, come on, man.
Speak.
Aye.
All right.
At your command.
So let's have you do strife. Good.
Tell me what you need.
Well, I need a good deal.
Ready for anything. Come on, you tinkers.
Speak. Yes? On your word.
She can't do her last breath yet. Let's see.
Pardon? This world's will be better off without you.
Heal me, do some damage to you. There we go. Right. Exactly.
Thank you. Do not let me die.
What the hell is that? What is this? Why did everything just disappear? Oh. What was that? What? I don't...
Done,
What?
friends. You have driven the heralds back through the rift.
Alright, well, we get to watch this. Whatever. I don't know what just happened there, but whatever. You all saw me beat him normally the first time, so. In fact, you can still see there's actually like the little on the top right there's still his like stuff, so I don't know. Like you can still see up in the top right corner there's still like what looks like hit points up there, so I don't know. This may be a little bit bugged, but whatever. Let's just hope it doesn't last long. Okay, we already saw this, we already saw this, we already saw this, we already saw this.
You can't ask us to...
Right, yes, right, yes. I choose Fiona, right, yes. Okay, now.
But they will never die, so we must seal the rift before they regroup
Indeed.
and return.
But there is
Stand back
still
and let
one
us
thing
work.
left to be done. Friends, this must not happen again. No one must ever find this chamber. No one must even know of its existence. We of the elder races were fools to allow ourselves to remember its location and the details of its defenses. Without those things, Yadis and her followers would never have come as close to victory as they did. So, we will not make the same mistake twice. This time, the spell of forgetting will touch all the races. And when we leave this place, none of us will remember it or anything to do with it. Your adventures, the enemies you fought, all will be gone. I know it is painful to think about now, but fear not. In a moment, that pain will be gone too. Now, I will begin.
Nice.
So mend all your fences, my sons and my daughters, and keep tight the rope, my neighbors and friends, for the world and its foe will always be freeing, and always in need of a hard-working hand. A hole in the wall will let in the north wind. The gap in the thatch will when the wave comes on the ravel.
Yeah.
There's
You won't even remember
needle
Fiona.
sympathy.
That's cool.
We must sing as
It's sad, but it's nice ending.
and it again. So sing me a song, my
Nice.
sons and my daughters.
Yeah, that's cool.
Sing me a
That's
song.
cool. All right, well, putting aside my incredible frustration at OBS there, we beat the guy twice, so that's good. So, as per usual, folks, and we'll play something after this because I'm done real early. I didn't expect I was going to be done, so we'll actually get into something new here. But so, my thoughts about this game are I'm going to give the rating on this probably a 7 to a 7.5. I would have rated it even higher, but as I said, the last 5 to 6 hours, I think the game overstays its welcome. Oh, the bagpipes. Sign me up. There's a little bit too much with the puzzles, and I felt some of the QA was a little shaky there. I felt like they kind of were sort of losing steam as they got to the end. However, having said that, music was great. I thought in general there were a lot of really good moments in this game. Very nice graphically as well. It was too buggy. It should not have been released in this form, and it should have been addressed faster than it was. The fact that they're not even coming up with a cut to address the terrible inventory and the terrible lack of map notes until June is pretty sad. But I think in general terms, I'm impressed with how they handled this. I think that if you compare this to Underworld Descendants, and I hate to hit on, yell about Underworld Descendants more, but if you compare it to these two, this one I think was trying to honor the source material. Now I know some hardcore people who played Bard's Tale 1, 2, and 3 would say that this is a totally different game, but some who played those think that this is exactly in line. This is not a situation where all the old school people think one thing and all the new school people think another. That is not the case. There's a split even in the old school group. I liked the tactical combat. I liked the sort of world. I liked the fact that although it was about saving the world, so much of it was about Scarab Ray. And it reminded me a lot, again, it had this feel of the Might and Magic X legacy movement and combat and things like that. So the map notes gets it a tick from me off. The lack of inventory management is unforgivable. There were a couple of unforgivable bugs that just can't happen, like the non-trackable quest tracking the wrong thing, getting stuck on terrain, hard crashes, like some of that stuff should not have been allowed to occur. But in general, I was impressed with this game overall, so I think I would give this probably a 7. And as I say, if the game ended like 10 hours earlier, I probably would have given it an 8. But it lost a point for me in that sort of very long, overwrought, kind of, and way too many puzzles. I like puzzles, but oh my goodness. And too many of the same kind of puzzle as well. That said, though, good stuff. What's up, Rock God? But I'm happy that I played through it. I'm happy that I played it. I'm happy that I finished it. I really wanted to give it a try. And I did not like the original Bard's Tales. I played the original Bard's Tale on 5 1/4 floppy, thank you very much. And floppies that were actually floppy, and I didn't really love it that much. So this game really interested me in terms of the way that it really made me feel good about, the Bard's Tale franchise. It's the kind of thing that it even makes me think it would be cool to try the remastered Bard's Tale trilogy at some point in the future. But too much on the puzzles, I think. Again, I like puzzles, but too much. Still, in general, this was not a mail-in effort by In Exile. This was not them being like, oh, let's just take this franchise and just throw some references and think that we've got it done. That was not the case. So I liked it. What's up, Killbite? And I love these songs. What's up, Kilobyte? Yep. How you feeling, man? Bam. Good stuff. How you feeling, Killbite? Yeah, so I really, in general, I'm happy that we played it. Good, I'm glad, Killbite. I'm glad you are, dude. I sent you some Discord messages, you'll see. I'm sure that's the last thing you want to know right now, but just in terms of getting things finalized and stuff like that. So you can check it at your leisure, but the hope is we can get stuff put to bed by tomorrow, hopefully. So, as far as the project which you are currently involved in. Yeah, we're gonna start sorcery. Okay, cool. Yeah, we're starting sorcery tonight nonstop. I mean, it's like, the night is young, man. It only took me like less than 2 hours to do this. I didn't realize I was this close to the end. I thought those last puzzles were gonna take longer. But I actually finished most of this last night, so. Yes, Sorcery from Inkle is up next. We're gonna play them together. I'm very excited about it, actually. Yeah, I'm excited. I am excited. Yep. Scots songs. Is this supposed to be Celtic? What is this? Anyway, what did you folks think? Those of you who watched me play a lot of this, how did you feel? Do you agree with my assessment? Are you basically a 7 to a 7.5? Did you like it, hate it? You're like, thank God Arv's done with it? Or you're like, no, this was good? What did you feel? Too long and not enough ultimate. Yeah, the puzzles dragged on. I agree. And I mean, part of that is at a certain point the streamer has an effect too, right? Yeah. I mean, actually, Yadis, like my party pretty much wrecked face on Yadis. Like both times, Yadis was not a problem. So, and partly because a sack of hit points without armor, if they had given like one quarter that number of hit points, but they had given her like 30 armor, that would have been a lot harder fight. 700 and whatever, Yes, agreed. Yeah. I'm happy that I played it. I'm definitely happy that I played it, but as I said, I'm happy I'm done with it. And do you guys realize that we finished this game before St. Patrick's Day? So, I feel like, Yeah. This is not a game that I think I would have wanted to play on my own. This is a game definitely that I liked playing, streaming it. So. These are the top Kickstarters, I'm assuming. Nathan Long, our boy Nathan Long, who we've interviewed on this channel. And it's true, we have had Nathan Long on here. These are our Kickstarter backers. We've had Nathan Long when we had him in here for Wasteland. And, I've played Wasteland 2, I played this game, I played Torment. So I've played 3 In Exile games, and I have to say I've liked all of them. I didn't complete Wasteland 2 because it just wasn't my bag. I don't like post-apocalypse stuff, as you folks know. But honestly, like, I liked and finished Torment. I liked and finished Bard's Tale. So I think In Exile did some pretty good stuff. Oh, Never Alone? Well, we'll be doing I think it's the week after I get back from Florida, we do nominations for the Chat Chosen Game of the Month, so. Yeah, thank you, Nonstop. Somebody had to do it. Better man than me. Wasteland 2. And I think actually, Torment didn't really have this problem too much, but this may be a problem with In Exile generally. They have to know when to wrap something up. Like, and that's the problem with that game too. Wasteland is just too much. Like, I even ran into this with The Witcher 3, where, as Thorg was joking me about, like I played 75 hours of it, and they're like, okay, you're half done, and I'm like, no, I'm all the way done. Like, I'll come back to it, but I'm not coming back to it. I can't play 150 hours of a game in a row, and for once on stream. Like, you can't do that. So I would much prefer games that get in and get out. Like games that are around for like 40 hours, 50 hours is usually good. Once you get up to like Shadowrun, I think was 60 with the DLCs, and that was okay. Mass Effect was more like 78, Mass Effect 2, but that's a little different because that's all the DLCs and everything. So most of these games, you gotta, most of these games you gotta do what needs to be done, honestly, for like, I feel like you have to finish the game, you have to do the game, and not overstay your welcome. Yeah, I wish. It's too bad because I just have no interest in Wasteland. It's nothing against the game. It's just not my deal. So. Oh, I didn't know that about the money from sales goes to the tribes. That's super cool, I already know. I've heard of Never Alone, but I didn't know about that. That's cool. Yeah, hopefully, Microsoft will do In Exile. The director's cut of Bard's Tale 4 is supposedly on track for June. I mean, for the people that have been waiting to play this game and were told that it was going to be showing up in late 2018, that's a little rough. I mean, it released in September 2018. It's going to be out in June. So, I mean, that means that it'll have been... What, 9 months? 9 months to the... no, admittedly, director's cut, but I don't understand why you need a director's cut when people were like, give us inventory management and map notes. Like, those should be the priority. Like, the other stuff, you can come back to it and do a director's cut later, but like, why you want to sort of put everything into a director's cut? Just give people their inventory management, man. And especially the map notes. The map notes thing would have been so easy. Yeah. Well, no. Pathfinder Kingmaker, I mean, that was the joke for a while, Ramir, is that every time I fired up GOG Galaxy, Pathfinder Kingmaker was updating. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a game that patched that quickly. There must have been 10 patches within the first 3 weeks. I mean, not even hyperbole. I've never seen a game patch that much. And that's not a great look, honestly. Like, if you have to patch a game that much, it shows that you're committed to it, but you never should have released it in that state. Exactly, Shadowrun, yeah. You update MMOs less. So, I mean, like, yeah. Hot fixes to fix hot fixes. And it's true, they definitely had support. And they have proven it. They stuck with it. But they never should have put it in that position in the first place. So, and that's, and I understand that they're like, well, but you gotta release it. Yeah, but well, you don't though. Like, you have to be able to always balance it out. If you delay release by 2 weeks, and you could have cut like 5 of those patches in half, cut the patches in half, so you would have had like 5 instead of 10. That would have meant that it would have had much better ratings out of the gate. It would have sold much better out of the gate. And you would have ended up with a lot more money in the long run than getting the quick pump, I need the money right now, and losing that money down the line, which is what I think happened to Underworld Ascendant. Underworld Ascendant was nowhere near ready for prime time. Underworld Ascendant should not have been within miles of release. That's a game which, and I don't like early access, but that's a game that really would have fit better in early access at least, because all the stuff that people complained about, 90% of it anyway, would have made sense within the early access model. But releasing it as a finished game in the state of garbage that game was in, nah. Alright, sounds good. Good night, Thorx. Thanks for stopping by, man. Yeah, Pathfinder Kingmaker is going to be up on, when I finish Thronebreaker, I'm going to be moving back to Pathfinder Kingmaker, although I may be playing a game in between that, a shorter game, which would probably only be about a month's worth of sessions, I think, and then I'm going to go back to Pathfinder Kingmaker. Now, the only thing for me is that I'm not really interested in the kingmaking part at all. I just want, like, the next Baldur's Gate, honestly, so I'm going to be playing it. I'm going to basically put the kingdom management on super easy / automatic or whatever, and just try to play it separately. So.
A summer's day in Scarabrae became a wintry night.
Cool.
From below blood on the snow.
Just want to check something.
Bright crimson on white. A madman's story
I'm gonna just
of
delete a couple of
ancient
these.
glory.
There we go.
Brought death from far away.
Lovely. But in general, good game. Good game. I was happy to have played it. All right, let me sync up those cloud saves, make sure that's good to go, and then we are going to move on to the next game. But complete, people. Bard's Tale 4 Barrows Deep complete. So, and good game. I'm just frustrated that the stupid thing happened with OBS towards the end of it. But All right, it's synced with and the final total of time was 64 hours. 64 hours, 14 minutes. And as I say, I really think about 8 to 10, mid-50s would have been good for this, in my opinion. But all right, so let me make my little notation here. On my little games complete, I'm going to have to make sure that I make that note. Update games completed. All right, my future game order list goes down by 1. All right, I want to make sure that I updated my games completed. Okay, so, yeah, too long. Alrighty, good. Now, so what we are playing next is we are going to be playing the Sorcery series. Now, for this one, I need to double check quickly, actually, and make sure I know where I have this because I got Sorcery for, I think on Steam. I mean, no, not on Steam, on Android. And I don't want to play it on Android, but it's now available for Steam. So let me fire up Steam. Down by once. Yes, exactly. Okay, now I have a question for people. How many people have played the Sorcery games? I know Kilobyte has. How many people have played the Sorcery games before? Or even know what I'm talking about? I do have it on Steam. Good. Already. You dabbled in one over a decade ago. Oh, okay. So, this requires a little bit of a history lesson, folks. Oh, actually, you know what I just realized? Wait a second. Before I give you the history lesson, I want to install Bard's Tale. I liked it, but now I want the room back on my hard drive. Give me 1 second. Sorry. Okay, now, I actually played these on stream back in the day. This is years ago, 2015, 16 probably. I played this at least 4 years ago, if not more than that. Okay, we are going to uninstall this. Thank you so much for everything. Uninstall. I am sure that I wish to uninstall. Yes, I loved it, but time has come. Okay. And that is done. Let's see how much space that cleared for me. Oh my goodness, we had a lot of updates. Crosscode, Talisman, Slay the Spire, Legend of Heroes, and of course Sorcery. Good. All right. So, right, let's get rid of Bard's Tale 4 is complete there. All right. So now we've got, that's going to go up there as the new one. Good. All right. Just to be, let me just see how much. Yeah, that got me 45 gigs of space. Nice. Okay, so back in the day, these games, and I actually first got these game books at Caldor's of all places. And I remember walking along, and I must have been, I don't think I have when I bought this, but maybe like 1980. Oh my gosh. All right, I'm going to share something with you guys. So this is very important to me. Yes, 45 gigs. Okay, so I got this game. I was walking along, and this is back in, like I said, it must be like, it probably was mid-'80s. It was probably when I was like 12 or 13, I would guess. And I was walking through Caldor. You guys may not even know what the hell Caldor is, but it's kind of like Kmart or Walmart, but way cheaper, you know, type of thing. And they had in their book section this book. Now, as a young, strapping D&D fantasy-loving person of the ages of 12 and 13, if I see this on a cover and I see this price tag, $3.16, I'm clearly going to get it. And so I ended up buying this game, and what I was introduced to was what I would clearly call the greatest game book series of all time. And I don't think it's actually that close. And I have played hundreds of game books, and this is the best. It was so good. And it was done by Steve Jackson, who is the same guy, the Steve Jackson of Ian Livingstone and Steve Jackson fame, who did all the Fighting Fantasy game books and was also responsible for Games Workshop that now does Warhammer. But back in the day, they did Talisman. You guys know how much I love that game. Chainsaw Warrior, Blood Bowl, just all of these, the Warlock of Firetop Mountain board game, and of course the actual Fighting Fantasy game book stuff. So it was great stuff. And so this was the introduction. And the thing that made this so special was not only some of the amazing illustrations and not only the illustrations. Yeah, no, not the same Steve Jackson. There's two Steve Jacksons, and I actually was on a panel with that other Steve Jackson, Aradinel, who's the guy who does Munchkin and everything. He runs Steve Jackson Games. I was on a panel with him, and the thing that's more confusing is that he actually wrote a game book for the Fighting Fantasy game book line that was created by the other Steve Jackson. But anyway, so yeah, exactly what Kilobyte said. So anyway, this just was super, it felt like an adult game book. It felt like something which wasn't just for kids. It was really amazing. And the stuff that you did here translated into this, which was book 2, Kare City Port of Traps. Well known for being brutally difficult, this book, but this book was also amazing. And basically it tells the story of, there's this thing called the Crown of Kings, which is stolen by these bad guys and from Analand. And the way it works is that these countries pass along the Crown of Kings from country to country. And every time the Crown of Kings gets to a country, the country, like all of its problems disappear. Famine ends, like there's peace and everything. And so they rotate the Crown of Kings to these different countries. But the Crown of Kings is stolen from Analand. And so that's a big problem. And so they send you, me, the hero, to be able to actually find it. So you go through the Shamatanti Hills, and then you go to Kare, the City Port of Traps, and then you go across the, across the fields, Kakabad? I don't remember. Across here to pursue the servants of the main bad guy, the 7 serpents here in this book. And then the final one, which is called the Crown of Kings. Not only is this the greatest series of all time, this here is the greatest single game book ever made. This has in it 800 entries. Okay, most Fighting Fantasy game books have 400. This has 800. You can look for yourself. This is like regular novel size. And the stuff that you do here is directly influenced by the things you did in these first 3 books. It was the first time that I had ever imagined the possibility that you could actually create an arc across books, across games. It was just like, it was the most amazing thing to me. And the other thing that I want to share with you guys, which is very special to me, is, so this was my first time that I was trying to write this stuff down. And you can see sort of my handwriting up top, right? So this is my 12-year-old handwriting, whatever. Now, take a guess whose handwriting, you won't be able to see it, I don't think, very well, but whose handwriting that is. You'll notice it's different, right? So this is me. Who's this, if you had to guess? It's not a celebrity or anything. Yep, it's my dad. This was my father's handwriting. So I actually played this with him, and I actually ran through it with him where I was like reading it to him and he was making choices and decisions like that. So, and it's on the back of this memo, this While You Were Out memo. So I have always kept that in my, I've kept that in here because, you know, it's kind of special. So I've actually kept it inside the book. So these books are very, very special to me, and they're just, not only are they sort of personally special, they're amazing game books. Like, they're just so good. Thank you. Yeah. I'm glad you guys understand. It's like, I understand it's cheesy, but it's also not for me. So it's, anyway, super, super cool. So, a couple of years ago, Inkle, which is the company that did Around the World in 80 Days, which I played on GOG, started bringing these sorcery books to Android. Now, I played the first sorcery on Inkle, and it was cool, and it was kind of neat, whatever, but I was like, all right, well, whatever, I've done that before. But since that time, the readings that I've done have suggested that books 2 and 3 and 4 are not only... By the way, I forgot to mention, you could also play a warrior or a wizard. And if you played a wizard, there was a whole spell book, which if you didn't buy the spell book, you were, and actually even if you did, you were supposed to memorize the spells and not look at the book again until like the end of the adventure. So you would memorize the spells, and then in the entries, they would say, do you want to cast these spells? And they had these like 3-letter abbreviations, and they gave you a couple of fake ones, like Zigbot or ZGQ or something. And if you tried to choose that, it would take you to something like there is no such spell, you lose 5 stamina, whatever. So it really, you really had to make you think. Anyway, so according to what everybody says, in books 2 and 3 and 4 of this, and even towards the end of book 1, it goes off in a whole different direction and becomes one of the, and I quote, more amazing game book series ever made ported to PC. So I was like, okay. So, that is what I'm going to do. So next up for us is going to be to play through Sorcery, which we're going to do. We're going to start that tonight. And then after Sorcery is done, we're going to move on to Phantom Doctrine. And then once Phantom Doctrine is complete, next up is going to be Wild Arms, ACF. And then finally back to The Witcher 3. And then Deus Ex Human Revolution. And Breath of Fire 3. And Neverwinter Nights 2 complete, specifically just The Mask of the Betrayer, which I've never played. Then after that, it all gets fuzzy. Arkham Knight, Suikoden, Portal 2, Suikoden 2, Phantasy Star, Lego Lord of the Rings, like it all gets kind of fuzzy after that. But those first few games, The Sorcery, Phantom Doctrine, Wild Arms, ACF, Witcher 3, and probably Deus Ex Human Revolution, those, and Breath of Fire 3, and probably NWN 2, those are all fairly set. So, yeah. So anyway, so that's what we're looking at. So we are going to play us some Sorcery. So I'm going to switch over to this. I'm going to rename in my OBS. Current game is no longer Bard's Tale 4. It is Sorcery. And this is not like and Chad is going to be making the decisions, but this is not exactly like the Fighting Fantasy game books because, as I say, it's a little bit of a different kind of model, basically. So, all right. Now I'm going to have to set up for windowed mode and all that stuff, so you'll have to bear with me. Yeah. I played that actually with the family first. Yeah, thank you, Shadowder. Although, March, man, I only wish. I think that's more like good 2020, 19 to 20 lineup, I think is what we're talking about. So, yeah, Zap. I remember Huff. Huff is this one where you blow this blast wind, and you needed the material components also. And if you didn't have the material components, you couldn't cast it. Okay, we're going to stay in a window. Oh, and you can resize the window. Oh, my goodness. You can resize the window without having to... Oh, bless you. All right. Let us capture this game. Okay, first of all... we are going to remove that. All right, and we're going to remove... Actually, I guess I'll leave that like that. All right. Yep, exactly. It was just so well done. Like basically, you needed a book and a pencil, and if you had a book and a pencil, you were good. Yeah, it was just so clever, and it was just so well written. That was part of it too. It's not like everything about it was staggering, but there were so many twists and turns. It was so well written. It was really one of those really well conceptualized, like tour de force. As I say, there's never been a better game book in my opinion. Never. Game capture. All right. And that's too bad. All right. So it doesn't do game capture. That's all right. We can do window capture easily enough. Not a big deal. There we go. right, and there we go. Okay. We are good to go. Let's hope that the sound works out. Nice. See, it sounds, Aerodinel, like between your family and your grandma, like you had a good gaming family. I like to hear that. Okay, here we go. Shamatanti Hills. Begin your adventure. Okay. Let's go with this guy. Feels a little... How's the music, guys? You have walked the wilds of Kakabad, through Kare and the spiteful backlands, all the way into Mampang. You survived traps, thieves, serpents, and vengeful gods. Oh my god, it's a little loud. There, how's that? Better? You have survived traps, thieves, serpents, and vengeful gods. And now it is here. Is that better? Okay. Crown of Kings. It is said the crown was never forged, only found, by Shalana the Reformer, a lowly foot soldier who became emperor of the Eastern world. Such is the power of the crown. The air around it crackles with influence. Should we take it, or should we wait? Let's see. So, I should probably fire up Arvbot for this, shouldn't I? Let's see. Let me fire up Arvbot. Hold on a second. Liking this music. Music though. All right, there we go. Now do that. Okay. So, let's see. All right, what's it going to be, folks? Take the crown or wait? And yes, assuming that everyone likes it, I am going to be playing all the parts, JLC. Assuming everyone likes it. All right, so if you want, so this is the way we do it. Same thing as we do in the Fighting Fantasy, this part, folks. You do $ vote space and then the number that you want. Do you want to take the crown or wait? Oh, and I've got to adjust. I just realized I have to fix the sorcery series that we're doing now. So, and also, oh man, so many things I have to do. All right, hold on a second. I got to stop the recording. So, also, for the people in the VODs, so many things I have to do. All right, hold on a second. I got to stop. Okay, I got to stop the recording. So let me stop the recording here. I'm not going to stop the stream. I'm just stopping the recording. So everyone who watched me play Bard's Tale 4, thank you all so much. Much love. And come back and watch the sorcery VOD that you're going to see in just a second.